Sue Perlgut. Welcome to another PEGASYS Presents. Today, we are here in the studio with Lisa Lyons, the Executive Director of Educate the Children, and Educate the Children's Nepal Director of Education, Ms. Meera Rana, who is visiting from Nepal. Welcome, Lisa and Meera. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
The mission of Educate the Children, I got this off the web, is to work with women and children in Nepal to improve health, welfare, and self-sufficiency by building skills that families can pass down to later generations. And though that's a lot of words, what Educate the Children does is really put this into action, and we're going to find out how right now. So Lisa, before we talk about Nepal and the earthquake that took place in April of 2015, would you like you to do two things? Please introduce Meera for us, and also tell our audience a little bit about Educate the Children, because some people may not know about the organization.
Yes, I'd be happy to. Meera Rana is the Nepal Director of Educate the Children, and she has been with the organization since 1994. So 23 years now, quite a long time. She started as the Women's Empowerment Program Officer and took on her present role in 1997, so 20 years ago. And she has, this is her fifth time visiting Ithaca, but her first time in 9 years. So we're very glad to have her here with us this week. And she's also been in New York City and will soon go to Long Island. So she's been very busy and will continue to be very busy. As for the history of Educate the Children, the organization started in about 1989. It's a little bit fuzzy because it was one of those personally driven organizations. A woman named Pamela Carson, who was a restaurant owner in Boston, sold up her business and traveled around the world, spent some time in Nepal, in Kathmandu, and really fell in love with some of the children that she met there, who were on the street for the day, most of the day, because they did not have the opportunity to attend school. This really seemed heartbreaking to her, and this is really for lack of a few dollars. So she came back to Ithaca, where she had friends. She was a co-founder of Eco Village, which of course your viewers will know. And she started with a bunch of friends the organization Educate the Children, which, as its name suggests, was originally really about the children. It was kind of a sponsorship program to begin with, where one child, one sponsor, right? And it worked that way for a few years, but it became clear after several years that the work could be so much more effective if we took a more holistic approach, which is to say, educating, making sure that children can go to school is all very well and good, but if they're not getting enough nutrition, then they're not going to do as well as they might otherwise do in school. And if their parents are not on board with education as a life goal, then they may not continue in school or finish school. Now, many of these children, probably most of these children, had at least one illiterate parent, probably the mother, because the women had little access to formal schooling. So it was very important, it became clear that it was very important to take a more holistic approach. Since 1994, our program model has had three prongs. We still do the educating of the children. We also empower the women by teaching them basic literacy, numeracy, and helping them to earn more money by starting their own small businesses. Many of these are agriculturally related because Nepal, the villages are still very, the economies are still very agriculture heavy, but there are other possibilities too. Small shops, craft stores, craft businesses, inns, tea shops, etc. And the third prong is sustainable agriculture. And I say sustainable meaning eco-friendly, as well as long-term accessible to the people who are trying to do it. They can't go down to Home Depot and buy a can of fertilizer, so they have to make their own. They have to figure out what grows well in their particular climate based on their elevation, the rainfall, et cetera, and the soil quality, et cetera. These three program areas, education, the women, and the agriculture, are really mutually supportive. and it's what we call our Integrated Community Development Model, ICD model. It's worked very well for this. We're in our 4th multi-year program cycle now. We work intensively in a specific area, geographic area, for a period of several years. And when we are about to, when it's been, well, I guess we'd like it to be 5 years, but it's, we were not able to do 5 years this time because of the quakes, which Mira will tell you about. But with 1 year to go, we start phasing out of an area and into a new area where we're invited to go. And by that time, the villagers have the confidence as well as the skills and the resources to continue the work themselves. All right, we've formed women's cooperatives, which are legally recognized support systems for the women to continue their microcredit savings, growing or starting new businesses or growing their existing businesses, becoming more involved in the community. The schools are stronger, the teachers have had training opportunities, the agriculture is more diverse, the nutrition is better, the community health is better. All of these things are benefits that do not wear out, they don't expire, people don't forget it, it's self-sustaining through the years, and then we move on to a new program area. The idea being to work very intensively for a period of time in a restricted area rather than trying to scatter our limited resources over too wide an area and not having enough of an effect to make a real difference in people's lives.
You do amazing work for what seems like a small organization. Do amazing work. I can see that working with the town and the mothers and the families will then encourage them to want their children to be in school. That piece has now been taken care of. You don't have to worry about people saying, gee, I don't need my children in school. It's become something they want because now their lives are improved. It's fantastic. It's really very, very exciting.
Thank you.
So Mira, tell us a little bit about the work that Educate the Children was doing, and I'm going to say this, and I'm hoping I'm saying this correctly, Dolaka, before the 2015 April earthquake. So just tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you for the question. At that time, actually, we were at the closing of second year of our 5 years cycle program. Closing of second year, that was almost, it was always our new year will be started from the July. It was April, May, like that, yeah. Last quarter of the second year, let's say. Till then, we had formed the women's group, 46 women's group, were consist of 1,000 women in 46 women's group, and we were working with the 30 schools, and we had already provided the basic literacy class for the women's group. That would be 6 months long and 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. And the advanced literacy class was running at that time. That was almost in just the 1 month was left to complete the advanced literacy class. That was also same duration and same for 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. And it was almost completing month, and we were preparing for the final evaluation of the literacy class. And then the earthquake came. And it was devastating earthquake came. That's why that classes were stopped for the time being. And then we were working with the 30 schools, and side by side for the women's group, we were providing different types of the training. Like the trainings are very important for the capacity building of the women, village women. And then we were encouraging them to start the small income generation program also till then, and we were providing scholarship for their children, because as Lisa told, in Nepal still where we are working, and especially for the girl child, it's really difficult to go school because of not having educational materials like and uniforms, that we are supporting to each child, especially girls. If they don't have girls, then we provide boys also.
So let's look at a picture of, of a school while you talk about the, you know, the uniforms.
And at that time we were working with the 30 school, and in school we work from pre-primary to high school level. In the pre-primary we provide the training for the teachers, and then we do the class management, pre-primary class management. Then we provide supplies for the classroom, and usually in Nepal the pre-primary, when you go and see the classroom, that will be full of dirt and no doors, no window, and it's like a mess, and they have to stay in that situation, and teacher has to teach in that situation. We were improving those classes, and at that time we were already, I mean, not perfectly set up the classroom, but in most of the school we had set up the pre-primary classroom for small children from age 4 to 6. And side by side we do the teachers training, different types of teacher training we do, sometime like subject teacher training, and sometime that education materials development training. In Nepal, you know, usually the teacher, to be a teacher, just 10th grade pass is enough qualification to be a teacher, not without having any training. That's why teachers training is very much important when we go, and until and unless teachers are not trained, we cannot provide quality education to the children, which we are doing there.
Right.
Yeah, and
let's see the next photo and see.
Oh, yes.
So tell us about this.
Yeah, it's a school before the earthquake, and
this was a primary school, right?
Yeah, it's a primary school, and yeah, I mean that usually the school of the village will be very simple, with the tin roofs and with the stone wall, and we were helping to build the. We were not, before the earthquake, we were not building the big building of the school, but we are helping to them to renovate the building. If they don't have enough classroom, then we were adding few classroom also in the school, and plus furnitures, those kind of thing we were providing.
Notice also the walls on that school. Many of the schools have walls that are without mortar, basically. This one is nicely constructed. This nice new one is much more solid than some of the...
and this again is before the earthquake.
It is, and when I was in Nepal about 2 months before the earthquake in 2015, I saw a school that had no mortar in the walls, and it had crumbled from a small tremor.
Wow.
Okay, quite a small tremor just a few weeks earlier. So you can imagine when the big earthquake hit, everything that wasn't fastened fell down.
Let's see, this is still pre-earthquake. Let's see another photo of
oh yes, Headmasters Network.
It's a headman. Whenever ETC goes to work in the area, first of all, we form the headmaster node. As I already told you, we are working currently with 30 schools, and the 30 headmasters will be in that network. And whatever we plan and we do there, and we plan also, we sit together with headmaster, then we plan, then we prioritize. They always, if we ask to them, just give us the plan, what you need in your school, and then they give so much, they want so much that which we cannot cover everything. That's why we help them to, prioritize your necessities. Then they prioritize, and then and our education director, mostly he involves with the headmasters, and then and we implement the whatever we do in the school, especially for the school construction and training. We do on the recommendation of the that network.
So let's see the next photo.
Isn't she cute?
Yes.
Yeah. And we, as I told you before, we provide the stationaries, school supplies for the one child of each women's group member. And currently we are providing nearly 7,000 children, 700 children for this kind of support.
She looks really happy.
They are very happy.
That's full of supplies.
Wow, that's great.
And this program is very good because the children would not be drop out. They will be encouraged to perform well in the school, and parents will be happy. They are getting some support from ETC. We need to send them in the school regularly, and they feel their responsibility also.
Wow. So let's see the next.
Okay.
Oh, yes. This is a child club drawing, right? An art competition?
Yeah, it's an art competition, and they draw. We sometimes we do competition of the art, and they take the part in that, and that is one of the art from the
wonderful.
child. And
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really nice.
It's an enrichment activity because they wouldn't have that sort of thing in school.
I love the view.
Yes, that particular child has done such a nice job of depicting the school, and those would be the school gardens, right?
Yes.
So school
School garden.
So do schools grow their own food too?
Not actually. What we are doing in the school, in Nepal also now the kids, they start, especially high school level kids like above 8th grade, and they think now they are educated and working in the field. Agriculture work is not a very prestigious job, and we want to remove that thoughts from their mind, and that's why we have started. And because our country is the agriculture based country, still more than 90% people depends on the agriculture. If the kids live and they don't want to work in the field in agriculture, then how the country will be survive, how their parents will be survive. That's why we have to create importance of the agriculture in their mind since the small age. That's why we are doing this kind of activities in the school, and teachers are very happy and parents are very happy. Whatever they learn in the agriculture in school, and they go and tell to their father, because children are quick learner. They can learn very fast, and they can transfer their skill and knowledge very fast to their community, their family. And it is found very useful.
And it gives them some pride in what they're
Yes.
doing. So it's not, I'm going to leave here because I don't want to.
No, exactly.
Do that.
That's another thing, is that we don't want to encourage flight to the cities. We want to encourage the vitality of the villages, and agriculture is the key economic support system of the villages. So this is very helpful in a number of ways.
So let's see the next photo.
Women's groups.
It's it's a women's group meeting, and the women, we have 46 women's group currently, and women's group, they do meeting once a month, and to become a women's group member, they need to pay membership fee. And then when the membership fee, they collect 5,000 rupees in the group fund.
I know, so what, compare 5,000 rupees to
divide by 100 to get dollars.
Okay.
$100.
So when they raise $50, and many of these ladies can't afford more than a few pennies per month because they come from impoverished families. That's the target population, is the very low income, marginalized families. So it may take them, the group, several months. There are 15 to 25 members per women's group, and it may take them several months, more than a year even, to mobilize $50, but once
Yes.
they do, it's matched. And this is a fortune, you know. They can take out these microcredit loans at
Yes.
reasonable rates,
Wow.
right? And they can launch small businesses that can transform their families' lives, increase their household incomes by 50% or more.
For
It's
so
remarkable.
little compared to,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
what we think of.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
as
mean, in these
something.
villages, the average household income per year is often less than $500, which
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know, I'm a donor to
I know.
ETC,
You're
and
lovely.
I'm just going to say this: if you haven't thought about donating yet, think about it now.
The impact is huge.
The impact is huge for a small amount of money, and we will put the website on at the end so you know how to donate. Okay, I've got my thing. I'll say that again.
thank you.
Sure. So let's just see the next photo.
It's a literacy classes.
Yep.
And
You can see their materials
yeah,
there.
you
Yes.
see the
Uh-huh.
materials,
Yeah.
and they are how look all faces. They are so interested to learn there. I
Yes.
mean, in the literacy classes, especially in the basic literacy classes, we teach them for reading, simple reading and writing. But advanced literacy classes would be more functional, which will be very helpful for them. For their day-to-day life.
Sure.
I mean, there will be more curriculum about the like agriculture, health, and income generation. Those kind of things we teach them.
Yes.
And
it's
maths,
all new.
yeah.
It's all new to them.
Yeah.
This
Right,
is
but it's
all wonderful and
transformational.
new,
It's,
and
it's so basic,
Yeah, it
right?
is,
I mean,
it
what else
is.
can you do
Really.
if you can read or write?
Yeah.
Public health.
Yeah, and we did we do public health program. We under the public health we provide the different types of the training. Especially special focus will be on nutrition, sanitation, immunization.
What are we looking at?
And that is the toilet, and we support for materials for the toilet, and we just support like less than 40%. Just we provide the materials. Rest of the thing they have to do.
Yeah.
And
Again, transformational,
Yes.
basic,
Yeah.
basic
Yes, basic,
hygiene,
yes.
basic
yeah,
sanitation.
basic,
Yeah.
yeah.
Keeps people
Yeah.
in school, keeps people
Yeah.
going to work.
So let's see the next photo and just
Here
talk
we're into
briefly because we want to talk more.
Right,
We
right.
have a
Yeah.
little bit of time left to talk
Yeah.
about the earthquake. So
I think these
Yeah.
are two slides
let's
about
go to
agriculture
the next
here.
one.
This is crop and horticulture training, livestock training.
Livestock.
Yeah,
And then
livestock.
the next.
Okay. Okay, now we
Okay,
are
so now,
April
okay, so-
2015.
Okay.
15.
So
2 years ago.
just after the earthquakes, I can't imagine. Were you actually there?
I was a day before. I was there, right there in that picture.
Wow.
I mean, I was just came back a day before
Wow.
from that area and in my home. But still, my house was shaking like this, yeah. And then next day afternoon, the first earthquake was gone there, and it was. I don't want to remember that day really.
No, of
you
course
know
not.
why?
No,
You know,
yes.
and
Yeah.
lots of pressure on me that I have six members in my family. My all members were in 6 different places. Only I was in home, and my office staff. So mostly they were in Dolkha, and then. After some hours, I could not do anything. Then, after some hours, I started to get phone call from my family, from of my staff, and some are asking, "Where is my dad? Where is my brother? Where is my?" I don't know where they are. I cannot tell anything. It was, but finally in the evening, after 6-7 hours, then I got a call from the field. I mean, staff are all safe, but everything destroyed there.
Look at this. It's just
This
something.
particular house
Yeah.
is the headmaster of one of the
It's
schools
just a
we're
head-
working with.
Yeah.
That's him on top of his ruined home.
And only in our area, you know, nearly 5,000 houses were collapsed or badly. And after the earthquake, and relief organization reached there, and after a week, and they started to provide tarpaulin and the food, and our staff was helping to distribute, because the other organizations were new in that area. They don't know how to distribute there.
Right.
Then ETC staff helped a lot to distributing that. Look at the school.
That
was a
that was a school.
Yeah.
That was a
Wow.
two-story school.
Yeah.
Oh, that
And
was a
now I
two-story
will
school.
say,
Wow.
first of all, this quake happened midday on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So people were not in
Not
school.
in
The
the
children
school.
were not in school.
Yeah.
And the people were mostly outside,
Outside,
doing
not
their
in home.
gardening or whatever. So that is why in our personal, in our own project area, there were not many casualties, thank goodness. It could have been so
Yes.
much worse if it
Yes.
had been
Yes.
at night or during school
Oh.
hours.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can.
Right, this
Look
is
at
a
that.
school, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a
Look
school.
at
Look
the-
there.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Terrible
It's an-
devastation.
Out of 30 ETC supported school, 29 were totally collapsed.
Look at that.
Just
Yeah.
one is
Yes.
standing. Yeah, it's
Yes.
yeah.
It's just, it's unfathomable. This is a mill. It was a
Yeah,
mill.
water mill.
I had visited this particular mill when it was functioning, and then one of our advisory council members took that photo of the same mill when it was
Wow.
clearly no longer functioning.
Yeah. Then slowly we started. I mean, there were lots of tarpaulin and the foods there were already. We built 1,086 dome house for 1,086 family in coordination with one of the organization called Shiksha Foundation, and we provided that we did winterization program, providing quilt and the warm clothes.
Because, of course, everything in the homes was also
Yeah,
destroyed,
because-
right? You know, they don't have their
So
blankets or
it wasn't
whatever.
just the home, it was
Yeah.
the clothes,
Yeah.
it was
The cooking utensils,
the cooking, it was
the
everything
school
else
books.
that people
Yeah.
needed to live,
Right,
basically.
it really was.
Yes.
It really was. And also keep in mind that this was late April and then middle of May when the two large tremors struck, and the monsoon season was about to start. Now, a few pictures ago, we saw a woman living with then some children under an open tarp, basically, open front and just
Yeah.
a tarp. You can't live like that in the
No.
monsoon season. You just can't do it. It's not safe, it's not comfortable,
No,
it's not
yeah.
healthy. It's frightening, I'm sure, just horribly frightening. So, you know, you can't live like that for very long.
And in Nepal, the people, 10% villagers who cook on firewood. And the another fire's danger in the tarpaulin. Yeah, that's why we did to some extent like the permanent type and the safe type. All together, we built more than 18 temporary shelter for more than 1,800 family.
Yeah.
And still, after 2 years, also more than 80% people are living in that shelter because the government is too slow and their bureaucracy, and it's very difficult. I mean, still people are having very hard life, and they love to have their home, but
Yes.
they are not able
Yes.
to build because of this government policy.
If I can.
I'm sorry to say that this wonderful interview is ending.
Oh, dear.
We have to start wrapping up, and I'm really sorry. We will be putting on the TV how people will get in touch with you for more information, how to donate to this wonderful organization. As you can see, a very little bit goes a very long way. I can see that I'm going to be upping my donation. This has been very wonderful. Thank you so much, Lisa and Mira, for coming, showing us the photos, and showing us the kind of devastation that we don't know, and the amazing work that you're doing. We really so appreciate it. So thank you so much. I'm Sue Perlgott for PEGASYS Presents.